didn't even ask a question yet. He's like, oh no, you're gonna ask this question. You'll wait, just wait. And then he'll finish the conversation, and sure enough, yes, a question did come up, and he did answer it. Anyway.
I did?
Yes, that happens a lot. Just hold that thought. I'll answer you in a moment. And he does.
Okay, that's cool, I guess.
It is cool. Kind of creepy to some people, but it's cool to me.
So, but that's when you get to a certain level. The key is, and that's why I stress about being on the same level, what's been explained to me is that, and this will sound funny, some people might go, what? You could have just divorced your twin flame. Not you, but people out there.
People out there, right?
Right? If you just filed a divorce, that could have been your twin flame right there. And you're like, no, that couldn't have been, because that's the worst relationship I've ever had. Exactly.
Yeah.
I will get to that in a moment. Or your twin flame could be that person that you just told, why don't we just be friends? I don't think we should be involved in a relationship. I just wanted to be friends. And that person happens to be your twin ray, your twin flame. Now, I'm not saying to go back now and say, I changed my mind about the divorce because you could be my twin flame. I'm not saying that. I'm just using those as examples, right? And hopefully it will make sense in a moment. You're about to ask.
I'm about to ask a question. Is it possible that your twin flame is not someone who you'd have a marital type relationship with?
Yes.
Like it could be a mother or a sibling or a relative of some kind, or just a friend.
Oh. I'm waiting for an answer on that one.
Okay.
That is possible.
And who's answering?
That is possible. That's Saint Germain answering. But
Saint
anyway,
Germain. Okay, thanks, Saint Germain.
Who we know as Catholic is Saint Joseph.
Right.
Anyway, but normally that wouldn't be the case. Normally, you're in the same lifetime as opposite gender.
Okay.
That's the normal case. That's more of what would happen.
Okay.
But yes, to answer your question, that's possible. Okay?
Thank you.
So anyway, where was I? Yes, so it's possible that you could have just dumped your twin ray, your twin flame. It's highly possible that you guys just don't get along, that you can't stand the sight of this person. You don't want to be around that person. They're just terrible. If you notice, I keep stressing that part because normally when people ask if they could meet their twin flame or twin ray, when they're going to meet the twin flame or twin ray, they're asking that because they envision this perfect relationship.
And they do, yes.
Right?
They think their life is just going to be magically wonderful once they meet their twin ray.
And in many cases, that doesn't happen.
And why is that?
Because remember, you came from the same flame, which means at that point, you guys, or the two souls, vibrated at the same frequency.
Right.
Well, as the two souls went on their separate journeys, they created karma, right? Which means that their vibration changed. Have you ever been around someone or met someone for the first time and you just didn't want to be around that person, you just felt uncomfortable around that person?
Yes.
Why do you think that is?
Well, knowing what I know now, initially I would think it was just someone, there's just something about them that physically I didn't like, or, back in the day when I didn't know all what I know now, I would think, I don't like that person, they must be doing things that they shouldn't be doing, and I'd start judging the person immediately. But nowadays, immediately I think, ooh, I wonder if they are full of possessions or attachments, or I wonder what kind of karma we have.
That's more like it.
That's what I think now. It's completely different. I don't judge. I'm like, oh, okay, I might have something I have to work on here. I'll have honey check me when we get home so he can clear me. It's just different now. Different lifestyle.
But why do you feel, why would you think that maybe they put the possessions or attachments, or there's something to work on?
Well, if the energy feels really heavy to me, then that's when I normally think there might be a possession or attachment, because I know for myself, when that stuff has been on me, I felt heavy. I had an attitude. It was not me.
Okay, you have an attitude, but what kind of attitude?
A bad attitude.
Okay. Or one that you're not happy with.
One that I'm not happy with,
Okay.
right. I call it a bad attitude.
Okay. So that's kind of going overboard a little bit.
It might be. Mm-hmm.
So what are you describing? You notice what you said? Energy.
Right, I'm
Frequency.
describing energy.
Now, imagine that person happens to be your twin flame or your twin ray. What kept you away from that person?
Their energy.
Your energy. Or people say what? Person has bad vibes.
Yes, I've heard
Right?
people say
Exactly.
that. I
So
don't like the vibes from that person.
So if you happen not to be in the same frequency, you don't get along. How do you get in the same frequency? The more both of you progress spiritually, and I don't mean that you have to go to church every Sunday or every day. All of a sudden you're volunteering at a soup kitchen. That's not what I mean. I mean just progressing, as in you're balancing your karma, and you don't have to decree to do that. You don't have to know about law of karma or believe in it. But what you're doing is you're doing what you're supposed to, treating people the way you want to be treated, respecting people, right? You do that, you're raising your vibration. And one day, you might run into that same person again, but all of a sudden now you want to talk to the person.
Things are different.
Things are different. And that's what happened with you and myself. See, I met you for the first time. I remember meeting you for the first time. And I was like, huh. It was more like, interesting. Her eyes look, she has very nice eyes, but that was it. And then the more I saw you, I'm like, oh, she's nuts. Because the frequencies were just different.
Right.
And that's when I really didn't want anything to do with you. But my best buddy did. You know, he said, you know, I like her. I said, good, then you go deal with her. And
it was because of him that I started my journey, my spiritual soul journey. And I believe because of your best friend.
Oh, okay.
And I think it's because of him that I was able to get up to the same frequency or close to it as my husband. And that's why we're together.
Oh, that's a good point. So
Because had it not been for him, I probably wouldn't be here.
Right. We wouldn't be together.
Right.
See, he brought us together. That was his mission in this lifetime, probably. Well, besides other things.
Right.
But wow, I never thought about that.
Neither did I till just now when I verbalized it. As you were saying it, it came to me.
So, but that's a good example there, because, like you said, when you tell the story, Miss Hollywood person, you always talk about how I hated you. I didn't hate you.
Well, that's because of my perception. It seemed like you hated me because you wanted nothing to do with me. Every time I wanted to ask you a question, oh, go ask Mr. O, oh, go Mr. Good, or always sending me to someone else.
Yeah, because I don't have to talk to you about it. They can talk.
But you're the one that they would always say I should go ask.
Oh, I didn't know that.
You should go talk to him about that. And I would go talk to him, then he'd send me right back to them. What a runaround.
It's called karma.
Indeed.
You should have gotten on the same level. Anyway, so as you can see, as you get closer now in level, in spiritual level, then all of a sudden, the same person, nothing's changed with it. Well, the vibration has changed, so something has changed. But it's not that they look different, right? It's just the vibration has changed.
Their energy
now.
feels different.
And as soon as that happens, you start to get along. And now you can say that what you expect from a relationship with your twin ray or twin flame is that relation where it's happiness, you know, it's great.
At that point, it's possible.
Exactly, it's possible because you're the same level. But until you get there, it's tough. And the point to take away from this is that just because you don't get along with somebody, or just because you're having a hard time with somebody, or maybe initially you're not impressed by somebody's presence, doesn't mean that that's not your twin ray or your twin flame.
Right.
Right? And that's why we shouldn't dismiss anybody. I definitely learned that lesson, you know, with you. I didn't dismiss you, by the way, but it's not as if though I was looking at you saying, oh, I wish we could go on a date or something. Or that wasn't even part of
That was the furthest thing from my mind.
Exactly. So I remember even when I came to you and then I told you, well, by then we were friends. I remember that, and then I told you. That's when I went.
We were at a convention. That one?
No, that was when I traveled away and then I came back, remember I met my high school sweetheart that time.
Right.
Someone that.
And we sent you to go see her.
You sent me, yes.
I sent him along with some of my business partners.
That was the other thing, right?
I was always trying to set you up.
And when you would tell me, oh, this guy says he likes me, and I said, go on a date with him. And we just trying to.
No. I'm not going out with that guy.
I was trying to set up the other person. I wouldn't even think about us dating each other. Anyway,
no.
The point is that I went, right? And then I told her about that, where we decided, not you and I, but she and I decided, no, this is not going to work. Because at that point, we were thinking, oh, finally, he's going to start dating. You guys were like, oh, maybe he'll start dating her. She's great. And then I came back and I said, it didn't work. But I remember that night when I just said, God, you had me come all the way over here, and now this is not working. So why did I come all the way over here? I can't tell that story.
Right.
And then I said, so what now? What happens now? And that's when I was showing your face. I'm like, is there a reason why you're showing me this face? Then I was told, that's the one that you go. You go, and you and her, that's your twin ray. It's time for you to now develop a relationship. I'm like, no way. That's not happening. Remember, I told you it took 2 weeks before I even told you about it.
Actually, no, you didn't even tell me about it until after we started dating. You went and told my mom or someone else. Yeah.
Well, I had to get their permission first.
Yes, you did.
All right, that's when I talked to your parents and I came to you and said, you and I are dating.
Yes. He didn't ask me if we'd start dating or if I even thought about it. He just said, we're dating now. I'm like, I laughed in his face, but you're kidding, right? My mom happened to be there.
Very impolite, by the way.
I know. I thought you were kidding.
That was not very nice.
Until my mom wasn't laughing and my husband wasn't laughing, and they're just looking at me. I'm like, oh, you're serious? You want to start dating? Oh, that was really awkward. It was very weird.
So anyway, but but the point is, until I prayed on it, and that's what I did. Well, decreed on it. You still do. And I was told that. And just like I was told that, I feel very sure that other people can have that experience if they're sincere about it and they really want to get an answer.
Oh,
Make
yes.
sense? So, to go back to answer your question, would you ever find out? I found out. And I wasn't asking, though, about show me my twin or my twin flame. I wasn't asking that. I was just saying, okay, I thought maybe I had a partner there that, I was going to settle down with. That didn't happen, God. So why did you bring me over here? Now what? What do I do now? That was pretty much what it was. And then God said, run that video so he can see it from YouTube. Let him see her face. And then the YouTube video came up and I saw your face on there.
What are you talking about?
In my mind.
Oh, your mind screen?
Yes.
Your mind TV? Oh, I see. I don't recall YouTube being around back then, but hey, you never know.
It was already in my head. Like, oh, her? No. Don't joke like that, God. That's not a very
You guys were confused, don't worry, so was I. I'm like, what?
So anyway, did I answer the question?
I think you answered the question.
Right? So the bottom line is, what I want to add to that is, whether or not you're married to your twin ray or twin flame is not really important. I want to stress that. Because in this lifetime, maybe that's not what your purpose is. Your purpose might not be, or part of your purpose might not involve being married to your twin ray or twin flame. So I would suggest that people focus more on what their purpose is supposed to be.
Focus more on where they are and working through what they're currently going through.
That's correct. That's correct. Because, again, imagine that you're married. And the marriage might not be going great, right? The person might be thinking, this is definitely not my twin ray. This can't be my twin flame. Because I'd be happier.
Yes.
Right? Because again, they have this picture in their head. If this were my twin ray or my twin flame, sorry, I'd be very happy. We would not be having problems. Which is the most inaccurate thing one can ever imagine. If, however, you work on that relationship. And if you want help with that, we provide help with that. Not us, but there are ways that we can go and communicate with the angels and help to see how they can help mend that relationship, right? I said help 3 times. That's really bad English. I apologize for that. Everything can be corrected by God. Once God is involved, things can get straightened out. If the relationship seems awkward, almost futile, not stressful, and you're thinking about leaving, contact us first. Don't just leave, and let's see what God can do for you.
Or see if you should stay in that relationship.
Right. Normally you say yes, though. So but they're providing solutions, right?
Right.
And you might find out that nightmare of a relationship that you've been in this whole time, by the time you follow guidance, it turns out that person's your twin ray. And it turns out to be one of the most satisfying relationships you could ever experience. So just for everybody to know that, I know individuals that focus so much on, they're married, but they're trying to find out who their twin ray or twin flame is, that they're not even paying attention to their current spouse.
They're not grateful for what they already have.
Right, and that's not good.
And working through that.
Because keep in mind that you're married to an individual because of specific reasons. Maybe there's karma to balance, so guess what? Balance the karma. Once it's balanced, let's see what happens. Because if you just step out of a relationship, if you walk away from a relationship, whether it's one of marriage, dating, whatever it is, a job, and we've talked about this in a different recording, the moment you leave unfinished business, and that means karma is tied to it, it will continue wherever you go. You will notice. You can go back and check this yourself. That's why I love this. That's why I love the teachings, because the Ascended Masters always tell us, don't believe what we tell you. When we go to church, we say, if you say don't believe this, you're a bad Catholic.
Right.
You're a bad Catholic.
You have to have faith. You have to believe.
Right? And all of a sudden,
you should not be questioning.
That's correct. All of a sudden, the Ascended Masters come and said, we don't want you to believe. We don't want you to have faith. We want you to test it for yourself. Get the proof. And that's why I love this. Now, because instead of just believing what we tell you or accepting it, test it for yourself. But if you were to go back, and let's say right now, you've left a relationship, you broke up. And if you notice, I stress, you broke up with somebody, because that's the key. You broke up with somebody, you divorced somebody, you exiled your child, or whatever it is, but you're the one that started the whole thing. You will notice that since that happened, if you got into another relationship, you got into one with very similar qualities. Just see for yourself. And it seems as though every time I try to start a new relationship, if it were a relationship with dating or marriage, it winds up the same way. And you might be even asking yourself, how comes I always attract this type of person? It's because it's karmic. It's because you left unfinished business. And karma is a funny thing. It will keep coming up until you resolve it. Meaning, you have to stop walking away from it and resolve it. And that's the kind of help that you can get from what we do here. If it's with a child, let's say your child, they did something, you're unhappy with them, you kick them out of the house. You'll notice that that same type of relationship comes up with other people, where all of a sudden you can hardly have a good relationship with anybody, because that karma is still hanging out there that you need to correct, because you created it. That's why I said in the beginning, if you did it, you're responsible for it. Now, let's say, for example, you were married, and the other person said, I'm sick and tired of this relationship, I'm leaving, and they leave. Then that karma is balanced on your part, because you didn't walk away from it. You tried to work through it, and they left. Well, karma is balanced, and you'll notice that when you go and start a new relationship, it works out just fine. It lets you know your karma was balanced with the other person. You did not leave unfinished business. And that's how you know whether or not karma is balanced. Because when you go to do something else, based on what you just left, it works out fine. There are less struggles. But if there are struggles still, it's because karma is unfinished. And you have to get that straightened out. That's how relationships work. That's how karma works. And whether or not it's your twin way, it's not important. Make sure that you balance the karma where you are. That way, if a new relationship comes about, it will be a better one than where you are now. Even if you have a great one now, the other one will be even more fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Is that?
I think that really answers all the questions about soulmates and twin flames. Okay. We have had people who have come to us and asked for you to check if someone is their twin flame or twin ray. And I know they've gotten different messages. We've had individuals who have come to us and given us names. Oh, I met these two women. Would you please check to see if I would be compatible with either one of them? Not even asking if there's a twin flame or twin ray, just which one should I develop a relationship with, or both, or neither. So.
Oh yeah, and in those cases, you're normally told the likelihood
of developing, of the relationship developing into something.
Right, between the different options.
Right.
And then they choose it. It may be 100% on one, 90% on one, 75% on one. So it's not like saying yes or no, but you're told there's a decent chance. It's like a 45% chance that this is going to work out really nicely for you. Or there's a 90% chance that one might be 100%, well, it's 100%, then you know.
Right.
You go for it, right?
Go for that relationship.
Exactly.
But it's more so asking, is there a relationship I should be involved in versus, is this my twin flame or twin ray? Or is this person just a soulmate? It's just, should I pursue this relationship? And I think that is something that is very healthy to do, is just for the benefit of all involved, should I pursue this?
Right. And same thing with, well, I've also seen a situation where, and it's still a relationship, it's not twin flame or twin ray, but where a parent might not have been getting along with their child, and then they're wondering, what, is there anything I can do? Or students not getting along with their teachers, like the teachers not treating them nicely, right? Because see, all that, I bring it up because those are also soulmates. Those are people that you've done work with before.
Oh.
Good?
I got it.
So that teacher is in your life because they've probably been your teacher before, or you've been their teacher in the past. So now the
so there's karma to balance there.
Exactly. Right? So then in a case like that, so what do I do when this teacher, for example, our eldest, when she was in med school, right? Remember? She called one day. She was crying. Then she said that she walked into class and the professor looked at her and said, "You're going to fail this class, guaranteed." Remember that?
Yeah, I remember you telling me that.
Hi, what? And our daughter's called, she was crying. She's like, "How can she tell me that when classes just started?" I was ready to go find her and beat her up. Anyway.
He was ready to do the human dad thing.
Don't tell our kid that. And she was so, I mean, who wouldn't be disappointed by that? I mean, you're working hard, and it doesn't matter how hard you work, they're telling you to fail already. You know? So, but then we went, did work, had the angels get to work on that.